Hello and welcome everyone to Six Sigma Years. I am Mohit Bansal and today we are going to discuss the Polity Mains previous year question of 2025. So the question is that Indian Constitution has conferred the amending power on the ordinary legislative institutions, that is Parliament, with a few procedural hurdles. In view of this statement, examine the procedural and substantive limitation on the amending power of the Parliament to change the Constitution. Right? So here again, in the previous question also, I have told you that this first statement is also part of the question. So do not ignore it. I've seen a lot of students simply overlook the statement of the question. Do remember it's part of question, you have to address it. In beginning of the answer itself, you need to mention that Constitution has provided power of amendment to ordinary legislative institution, that is Parliament, with few procedural hurdles, right? And what are those procedural hurdles? Like need to be passed by two houses separately, 2/3 majority, etc. In view of the statement, examine the procedural and substantive limitations, right? You need to mention procedural and substantive limitations, right? And also examine it. So how you will examine it? Whether these are enough or not, whether these are effective or not, whether there is some improvement required or not. That also you need to mention, right? So many times I've seen students just write about procedural and substantive limitation. They forget about this tail word, that is examine, right? So before addressing this question, let me tell you about our GS Foundation course for 27-28, where you will be given GS and CSAT lectures, current affairs lectures and tests, personalized mentorship, daily answer writing, test series, prelims and mains, under the guidance of Dr. Shankari Prasad, who is former IRS, parliamentary expert and economics. And this question has been direct forwardly taken from you Lakshmikant and also from our class notes and class discussion. So very straightforward question, right? And let's discuss the answer. So you can start your answer by mentioning constitutional article for amendment, that is Article 368. That is Article 368. So Article 368 provides constitutional amendment power to ordinary legislative institution, that is Parliament, right? And what is amendment? That also you can mention, that is update or change the constitution by way of additions, deletion or modification of any constitutional article. Now write about the procedural limitations on amending power, that is special majority requirement. You know about 2/3 of members present and voting and majority of total members requirement. Second, you need to mention that such amendment need to be passed by both houses separately. Third, you can mention that such special majority is required at every stage of voting in passage of the bill, that is at consideration stage and also at passage stage. That also you can mention. That is the procedural limitations. Then for the provisions which affect federal system of the country, required half of the state ratifications. For example, presidential election or distribution of power between center and states, etc. Then it required presidential assent, right? And here the constitutional amendment bill cannot brought in as if it is ordinary bill. It has a specific procedure mentioned in Article 368 that has to be followed. Now comes to the substantive limitation. What is the substantive limitation? That is not provided by Constitution. You need to mention that. It is provided by Supreme Court in Kesavananda Bharati case. That's very important. You need to mention how. By providing that Parliament cannot amend basic structure of the Constitution, by which the Constitution will get radically changed. Democracy cannot be changed into autocracy, secularism cannot be changed into communalism, etc. Right? And then Article 13 also says fundamental rights cannot be violated. Then the democratic principles, as mentioned by Supreme Court in various judgments, cannot be violated. That is republic nature of the Indian state, free and fair elections, etc. Then judicial oversight is there under different articles, be it 13, be it 21, that's due process of law, 32, that's writ petitions, the powers of Supreme Court under Article 143 or 134, 5, etc. So thereby Supreme Court can examine the substantial question of law of Constitutional Amendment Act. If it is violating the fundamental principles on which our constitution is based, then Supreme Court can struck down such Constitutional Amendment Act. For example, recently, 99th Constitutional Amendment Act, which is supposed to establish National Judicial Appointment Commission, got struck down by Supreme Court. That example you can mention, right? So as the tail word was examined, I've told you, that's why you need to mention procedural and substantive limitations analysis also. For that, you can have comparative approach. You can mention about US Constitution, where 3/4 states ratification is required for every Constitutional Amendment Act, right? And even 2/3 states by passing resolution can initiate the process of Constitutional Amendment Act. But in India, states do not have any role to play in Constitutional Amendment Act. So these things you can mention, then can have a conclusion that Indian Constitution is neither rigid nor flexible. It is not as easy to amend as in UK, where by ordinary law itself, UK legislature can amend the constitution, their uncodified constitution. And it is also nor so difficult to amend, unlike USA Constitution, where 3/4 state support is required for any constitutional amendment act to pass. That's why less than 30 constitutional amendment acts so far passed in USA, right? So that should be your conclusion. You get the point? So that's how you will comprehensively address this question. So in class discussion, the comparison of Constitutional Amendment Act in India with USA is made, so to know about the strength and weakness of our constitutional amendment procedure. So this question is very straightforwardly can be answered from the class discussion, right? So now I would like to inform you about our mentorship program for 27/8 for GS, where you will be given current affair lectures and tests, personalized mentorship, daily answer writing, test series of both prelims, mains, and even NCRT under the guidance of Dr. Shankari Prasad, that's IRS, former Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, economist, and expert in parliamentary affairs.